Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course Introduction to Cellular Network. Following is the agenda of our today lecture. We will discuss first some terminologies used in LTE, then we will discuss the architecture of LTE, and then we will discuss EPC interface. After that, we will discuss the EPC, quality of service design, which is the last topic of today lecture. So let's start with our today lecture. UE stand for user equipment, which is used in LTE to represent mobile set, whereas in 2G or 3G we represent handset with MS. LTE has E node B as radio element, whereas in 3G node B and RNC used as a radio element. As we know, it is a total packet switch network. In core network, it has MMS and SGW, whereas it use HSS as a database, whereas in 2G we use HLR or VLR to maintain the subscriber data. Let's discuss the architecture of LTE. As we have discussed in our previous lecture that the aim of 4G is to achieve high data rate and high mobility. We have discussed that 4G should have provide 1 gigabits per second for stationary user and 100 megabits per second for high mobility user. Now I hope after the previous lecture you all know what is the high mobility in LTE or the importance of high mobility in LTE. Now if we see the basic architecture, it is always divided into the two parts. One is the radio part and other is the core network. As we want fully packet switch architecture, that means we have to evolve new architecture with its own radio network and its own core network. So that means evolution of new architecture in LTE, and that architecture is known as SAE, means system architecture evolution. Now in SAE architecture, which is evolution of architecture of 4G, we are not upgrading over 2G or 3G network architecture. Therefore we are evolving new system architecture, and that evolution new system architecture is known as system architecture evolution, which is in there in 4G network. As our requirement is high mobility, so network node should be less, and if you want high mobility, your architecture should be simple and number of node should be less and faster. So we need to organize all nodes and all entities which are required for packet switching in a smart way. So we have one radio network, which is EUT-RAN part. EUT-RAN, as I already told you in my previous lecture, that is known as Evolved Universal Terrestrial Radio Access Network. Now question is why we used EUT-RAN, as EUT-RAN is in 3G cellular system, but this UT-RAN part is evolved in 4G as compared to the 3G cellular system. And as everything is evolved, so we use EUT-RAN rather than UT-RAN. And you can also see that we use EUE, which is evolved user equipment. It is used in LTE, whereas in 3G we use simple UE. And different EUE mean evolved user equipment are connected to EUT-RAN, and this EUT-RAN is connected to the core network, as you can see in this figure. Now whenever we are evolved some 2G to 3G cell system, so in 3G we have changed the RAN part, but we don't change the core network. And we also know that 3G is supported both circuit switching and packet switch, but in 4G our requirement is only packet switch or only data rate, so we have to evolve a new core, and the new core is EPC, which is evolved packet core. As you can see in the figure, it is packet core network and evolved so that we have a new core network and new radio access network in LTE. इसका मतलब हम कोई भी 2G या 3G पार्ट नहीं यूज़ कर देंगे 4G सेलुलर सिस्टम में, हमें जो है इसके लिए नई टेक्नोलॉजी नया जो है आर्किटेक्चर इवॉल्व करना पड़ेगा। जैसे कि बताया कि EUT-RAN है वो भी इवॉल्वेशन है, और इसका जो है जो EPC है वो भी एक इवॉल्व पार्ट है। Every architecture node and every entity is evolved as new one. That's why its architecture is called SAE, mean System Architecture Evolution. Now let's understand the various node and architecture. Now you can see number of UE attached to the EUT RAN with the help of radio interface or air interface. As in 2G cellular system, in RAN part we have BTS and BSC, and in 3G we have Node B and RNC. And all the decision of handover and all other decision is shared with RNC. But in order to reduce the latency of handover, that means handover should not be take much time for a handover decision. As our main aim is to achieve high mobility, so handover should be faster. So in order to have faster handover, all the controlling of handover decision and power measurement is there with only one node, and that is why we removed RNC from our LTE network. And in EUT RAN part, we have only one entity, and this entity is not connected to any controller in our radio access network part like RNC. And this entity is called eNode B, as you can see in the figure. eNode B is also in 3G cellular system, but in LTE we evolved one new node. This new node is eNode B, and eNode B is smarter enough to take decision by its own, and it don't have to take any permission from radio network controller. It is itself serve as a radio network for its user. Now it required that EUT RAN part is connected to the EPC, which is evolved packet core, and this EPC is fully IP connected, that means fully packet switch network. You can see various entities in EPC. Very first is MME, next is HSS, then we have SGW, and last is PGW, and this is connected to the external network or public data network outside EPC. Now what are these entities? MME is stand for Mobility Management Equipment. HSS is stand for Home Station Subscriber Subsystem. SGW is stand for Serving Gateway. PGW is stand for PDN Gateway, and entity outside EPC is External Network. That means our EPC is for main databases, and eNode is connected to the MME and SGW, and SGW is connected with PGW, as you can see in the figure, and PGW is connected to the external network. As already told, eNode B is connected to MME and SGW. Dotted line show the eNode B is connected to the MMC by a dotted line. It gives signal to MME, and MME then control all the basic call for user, and then eNode B send the traffic to the SGW, which exists the anchor point between the access network and then for the communication to the external service, which item IP, voice over IP, or could be data services. Like accessing the internet, you need to communicate with the PGW. Now question is, what is the function of MME? As we know that MME stands for Mobility Management Equipment. MME is there for all authentication services. That means for security purpose, it is there for location updation. It means all issue related to the mobility. So when a user is on a mobility, it has continuous tracking area update. So tracking area update therein also in MME. We are also required permanent database for each subscriber. This facility is provided through HSS. Whereas in 2G or 3G, we use HLR or VLR for data storage. HSS store the permanent detail for each and every subscriber. In HSS, all those information is stored which is particular to the subscriber. MME is also called the intelligent part of the EPC, or we can say it is the brain of the EPC. One thing is to note that it is all IP based communication between the eNode and MME. So it brings lot of benefit to the operator and how they manage the network, and also improve the speed of the up to the base to transfer and up the packets. MME can also connect to the HSS if it want to have a location updation of a particular user. We require data, so we have external network or public data network. If we have something at this end, control of the data is SGW, which is serving gateway, and this serving gateway is connected to the public data network or external network with the PGW. जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं कि eNode B जो है वो सर्विंग गेटवे से कनेक्टेड है, सर्विंग गेटवे जो है वो हमारा PDN गेटवे से कनेक्टेड है, और PDN गेटवे जो है हमारा जो है वो एक्सटर्नल नेटवर्क से कनेक्टेड है. SGW also communicate with the MME. As you can see in the figure, data is routed in PDM through SGW through PGW, and then SGW forward this to the eNode. This is the most simpler architecture of the fully packet switch LTE network. Now we will talk about handover in this architecture, as our main requirement of LTE is the high mobility mean user is moving. So it requires faster handover without much disturbance or call dropout. Now the faster handover decision is there with eNode B. Now eNode B knows where to give handover, and eNode B will give a handover. After the handover, eNode B has to inform MME, because MME is there for location updation. So complete scenario इस तरह बनेगा कि user equipment को handover करना है. eNode B will tackle all the handover facility, and it then tell the MME, because MME has to update the user location. In 3G, this case is totally different. eNode will have to take permission from RNC, which is radio network controller, for handover. So by keeping in mind the higher mobility and handover decision will take the eNode B. No, there should be an interface between different eNode and in EUTRAN, and this interface is X2. जैसा कि आप फिगर में देख सकते हैं, जो दोनों eNode B के दरमियान जो इंटरफेस है वो X2 इंटरफेस है. That means two eNode B are connected to each other with the help of X2 interface, and the interface is between EUTRAN and EPC called S1C, but for signaling we have S1C, where C is used for control plane, and interfaces between eNode B and SGW is for S1U, where U is for the purpose of user plane. अच्छा, आप इस फिगर में देखें कि दो मैंने जो है वो दो किस्म की लाइन ड्रा की गई हैं, जैसे कि फिगर में बताया भी गया है. जो ब्लू कलर की सॉलिड लाइन है उसे यूज़र प्लेन, और जो डॉटेड लाइन है पिंक कलर की वो जो है हमारे कंट्रोल प्लेन के लिए है. आगे हम इसका जिक्र भी करेंगे, हम जो है वो यूज़र प्लेन और कंट्रोल प्लेन जो है वो किस पर्पज़ के लिए यूज़ करेंगे. सो सिंपलर आर्किटेक्चर एंड फास्टर हैंड ओवर, विच इन स्टार्ट वी टोल्ड आर रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द 4G नेटवर्क. Let's move to the next slide. We will discuss the LTE EPC interface. We have studied about the role of eNode B in the previous slide, where we will see the architecture of the LTE. Now you can see different eNode B in this figure. We separate the RAN part with EPC with the help of a dotted line. आप फिगर में देख सकते हैं कि हमने जो है वो रेडियो एक्सेस नेटवर्क और जो कोर नेटवर्क है उसको सेपरेट किया गया है with the help of a dotted line. Then we have a serving gateway in EPC, then MME, then PGW and HSS in our core network. We also have PCRF, which is policy and change in rule function, and then we have external network. The external network could be internet cloud, could be IMS network, and so on. Now I am going to explain the interface between these entities. Interface in a mobile network is the logical entity which is represent communication between two network elements. So let me start with the radio part of the network. eNode B also need to communicate with each other, and we also know they also communicate with the core network, जैसे कि हमने अपने पिछले स्लाइड में देखा जब हमने इसके आर्किटेक्चर को डिस्कस किया. Now you can see in this figure I draw a solid line between the eNode B and SGW, while I draw a dotted line between eNode B and MME. Solid line is used for user plane and dotted line is used for control plane. Now question is, what is the function of control plane? Control plane in a mobile network represent when a service need to be connected. So you need to establish a service, modify a service, disconnect a service, or tear down a service, and that is like a boss. Control plane represents signal in the network to do that. I draw a solid line between SGW and E node B that represent the user plane, and user plane represents the actual flow of data for a particular service. So before you have a flow of data for a service, you need to set up that service. So let's understand with the help of a scenario. Let's take the voice over IP call. When you dial a number, the number ring to the receiving end. In order to happen, number of nodes need to signal with each other. It all happen over control plane, but one receiver attend the session. It is actually a voice call. Then the flow of data voice happen over the user plane. E node B communicate with MME with S1 interface, as we can see in the figure, which is control plane, and the interface between the E node B and SGW is S1U, which is S1 user plane. Now let's move toward the entity inside the EPC. Start with the MME, which is also called the brain of the network. Interface between the multiple MME is S10 interface. Interface between the MME and SGW is S11 interface. MME also need to communicate with HSS, which is home subscriber subsystem, with interface S6A. As we know, HSS is used to store the subscriber information. SGW need to communicate with PDN gateway, which is the node that communicates externally applied at a mobile network or this particular network. And this interface is S5 or S8 interface. The interface between PGW and internet is SGI interface, as you can see. Then the interface between the PGW and PCRF is the GX interface. This interface is in order to get the information like we have quality of services, charging information for a particular subscriber, and this interface is known as GX, as I already told you. A couple of key points is, remember that in mobile network, interface is not talk about something physical. It is just a logical name used to represent the communication between two network elements, and also have many different types, as we can see. Second point is that some interface are control plane and some are user plane. मैंने आपको बताया भी था कि जो डॉटेड लाइन है वो यूज़र प्लेन को ज़ाहिर करती हैं, और जो सॉलिड लाइन है वो कंट्रोल प्लेन को जो है वो ज़ाहिर करती है. Control plane is signal and network to settle, modify and turn down session, and user plane is to carry the particular service. Example here, a person on a mobile phone, in order to set up connection of internet, the signal will need to happen like so over the control plane. In order to establish a GTP tunnel, once the session has established, user can have service over the SGW, PGW and towards the internet. Now let's discuss the EPC quality of design, quality of service design. Quality of service is extremely important in LTE network for a number of reasons, because if we look at the way people are using 4G network today, traffic is distributed in multiple types, like we have a video, then over the top of service, which also known as OTT. In video we have YouTube streaming, video chats, etc. So a lot of video traffic, and as we know, video traffic take lot of bandwidth. And OTT service we have Facebook, WhatsApp, etc. Also we have VoIP services. At business end we have B2B communication, business to business communication, e-commerce, money exchanger, money transfer, etc. These all above services run over the mobile network. Now each of these services and application have different characteristics, and this is very important point to understand when we think about quality of service. And it is challenging that how we design a network that provide good quality of service to all of its customer. So first we have analyzed the network, that what type of data mostly customer use. पहले हमें डाटा को एनालिसिस करना पड़ेगा कि कस्टमर जो है वो किस किस्म का डाटा यूज़ कर रहा है. आया वो वीडियो स्ट्रीमिंग कर रहा है, आया वो ओनली फेसबुक का यूज़र है, व्हाट्सएप करता है, या वो बिजनेस एंड पे जो है वो अपने जो है 4G को यूज़ कर रहा है. By understanding these quality of service parameter, you can apply the correct quality of service, those different quality of service. So three fundamental type of services that you need to be considered. First is delay, then jitter, and last thing is the loss. If you stream a high quality, high definition video or a lecture, jitter is very important. Or if you keep sending your packet over the network at a specific interval, and if they are not arrive at the same time interval, then you can know what happened to your video or data. Delay in the network, suppose you have a voice call in the network, you can have late response either in your side or other side, which is not good. Delay is something that need to be considered when you have voice over the network. And everything lost a certain amount of packet for voice traffic and still have a good conversation and good quality of experience. For example, if you download a file and you lost some part of packet data received from rapid share, then you will know not able to open your file as some packet are lost. इसमें यह कि आप अगर इंटरनेट से कोई फाइल डाउनलोड करते हैं तो आप देखते हैं अगर वो उसमें कोई जो है वो पैकेट मिस होता है तो वो फाइल आप अपने एंड पे उसको ओपन नहीं कर सकते, वो फाइल उसे करप्ट फाइल कहा जाता है. So understand different type of parameter in different type of data is very important in designing quality of service. So three things that need to be answered: what, why and how. What का मतलब क्या है कि ट्रैफिक किस किस्म की है, why कि क्यों ये important है, is it low delay, reduced jitter or it is a loss, and how you will transport the data over the network. You have different type of traffic like signaling operation, synchronization of different element, like we synchronize the base station, and in our LTE case we synchronize the E node V, video traffic and the voice traffic. So बहुत सी traffic की type हो सकती हैं. Then we have to figure out which is the highest priority traffic. फिर हमें जो है वो ट्रैफिक की प्रायोरिटी सेट करनी पड़ेगी कि कौन सी ट्रैफिक जो है वो ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसमें किस सिस्टम का जो है वो हम रुकावटें जो है बर्दाश्त कर सकते हैं. आया हम उसमें जिटर बर्दाश्त कर सकते हैं, डिले बर्दाश्त कर सकते हैं, लॉस को जो है वो बर्दाश्त कर सकते हैं कि नहीं. Let's move to the next slide. Now let's understand with the help of scenario. Suppose the user side we have different data like we have voice, video or HTTP as you can see in the figure. Then we have a LTE radio part and EPC part, and to connect the radio part to EPC part we need a transport network. Let's suppose circle here represent the transport network, more like a IP/MPLS based network. So you can access all the traffic from the radio across network in order to access the service. You can see the different services also in the figure. Service could be data streaming like we have YouTube, Facebook. So on the left every user that use these services, and on the right you have provider. In the middle provide the LTE, EPC and the transport network that you have on your mobile operator. So mobile operator really have to do it right in order to satisfy their customer. So in left all type of traffic is injected into the radio network, then go across transport network and going to the core network towards to the internet and to service provider. And then decide to transport network, we need to design this very well. So at the back end we need to mechanism that should be there so that we can identify each packet that what type of packet it is. When we can apply certain quality of service parameter on it in order to ensure that service meet the expectation of the end user. That's it for the today lecture and for the 4G lecture. Till the next topic, Allah Hafiz.